Alright, we're here. We're early. We're recording. This is going to be...
Holy. Oh, God.
This is going to be another Charles solo session this week. If you haven't seen episode 14, you should go watch that to figure out why Charles is doing a solo session. Charles, can you hear the wind right now? No? Okay, good.
No.
Because there is some crazy wind going on over here. So, yeah, how are you doing, Charles?
Pretty good. I don't think Cedric's doing as well, but...
No, I'm not sure he is either. You wanna roll Destiny?
Have you cleared the pool?
If you were looking at the Star Wars chat.
Oh, yeah.
God.
I totally wasn't looking in the general chat.
Where all those glorious gifts are. Oh boy.
Oh, boy. I think that's my best Destiny roll for a long time.
Would you like to flip Destiny to be alive again? No, I'm kidding. Right. So, let us begin today's session. So, as we left you off last time, the last thing you saw is that you were being dragged in the middle of the night. A time has passed. You're definitely hurt, and you can't really tell how long has passed. But eventually, you regain some semblance of consciousness, and as you do, you can see glimpses of the sky above you. But it's sometimes obscured by something, you can't tell what. You're in way too much pain to move or even really talk. But you become aware of two presences quite close to you, two people who are talking. You don't seem to quite be able to make it out.
What's going on? Sort of. That's as much of a reaction I think I can get out.
Yeah, I mean, you probably couldn't even say that, but you could
say
probably
that.
have thought it.
I love thinking that.
So eventually you do manage to catch on to a few of the voices, and he says, and you hear one of them, a somewhat familiar voice, but not particularly familiar, saying, "That one, I recognize him. Wasn't he... Didn't you know him?" Another voice pipes up, and this one, a little bit more familiar, says, "Yes, we were allies. Friends, maybe. Well, a long time ago now. Speaking of my former allies, did you get it?" The other voice replies, "Yes, I got the droid. I sent it. It's a good chest, but I'm not sure if it's up to the task. Revan seems to think it can do anything." The other voice replies, "Well, you're hitting a weak spot." There's a little bit of silence before the first voice pipes up. "I can rebuild him with the tools we have at the clinic." There's a gap, and the other voice says, "Leave him. What's the point?" A reply comes, "Wasn't he your friend at one point? You'd just leave him to fend off the husks with barely any working extremities. We were allies. He is of no use to me now. I'm gonna go ahead. I'll get what we need." The other voice says, "Fine. But even though he isn't of no use to you, he may be of use to me. I will rebuild him." And you lose consciousness once more.
Oh, fuck.
So more time passes, and you once again gain consciousness, this time in a dimly lit room on what seems to be a table of sorts. You're much more conscious and able than you were. You feel a duller pain in your leg and your two arms than you had felt before. Still pain, but duller, and you think you could probably talk.
What? Where am I?
You hear from across the room, but you can't quite pinpoint where because you're unable to really sit up. "Ah, you're awake." You're in the inner city of Nitrosane. I trust you remember enough to know which planet you're on.
Yeah. Malister. Oh, it seems quite a long time ago since I got here.
Yeah, it hasn't been that long since I found you. And at this point, a hooded figure appears above you with a dark black mask on. I've patched you up. You have prosthetic arms and a new leg. I'm afraid they're not the most advanced technology, but they will function.
Who are you?
That's a complicated question. I'm a friend.
Okay. I guess.
Your name is Cedric, right?
Yes. That would be right.
The figure nods and a hand goes up to the mask and takes it off. Underneath you see a human male with blue eyes and an unrecognizable face. Something about it, though, seems familiar.
Who are you? You look slightly familiar. Who are you?
Roll a hard perception check.
Still with my sickness?
Yes.
Yay. Okay. What with?
To stop that threat.
What organization is this?
It is associated with your organization. However, it would be disadvantageous to our goals if the council were to know of our existence. You see, members of the council have already begun to listen to the influence of the dark side.
What? What's... Who... What's going... Who are you? Where do you stand?
I'm afraid I don't understand your question, at least your second one. Your first one I've already given you an answer to.
What do you stand for? What do you believe in?
I stand for the eradication of the Sith by any means necessary. It is the only way to assure peace.
Okay. But why would the council be against such a thing? Why would you want to keep that a secret from the rest of the Jedi?
The council aren't always proactive enough to deal with the threats that this galaxy faces. We both know firsthand how long it took them to react to the Mandalorians. how many lives were lost. If the Council are not proactive with the Sith, we will not lose lives, but galaxies.
Fair.
And to your second point, some of the Council feel it is appropriate to associate themselves with the dark side. It is from this that many of the Sith movements over the decades has grown. We must be careful to harness our hatred for the Sith to make sure we do not become them.
That is a fair point. So, what do you want of me?
Right now, one of the greatest threats that we have in this galaxy to stability, to peace, and to our ability to destroy the Sith is a darksider that the Council see fit to listen to. That person is known to you. This will be difficult to hear, but to assure the continuation of peace in this galaxy, you must destroy that darksider and bring balance to the Force.
Who is this user of the dark?
The man sits down, going out of view of you, and says, "It is only a matter of time before Shaulet Brakagu is consumed by the dark side."
No. She can't.
She's already put in place contingency plans. She knows of this risk herself.
What? Wait. You know Shao. You know her.
Yes. I fought in the war too.
Can't we at least try to save her?
She does not want to be saved. Her goals seem to be reckless. There is nothing for her but her goals, and she thinks to achieve them she must remain the way she is. Her contingency plans already result in her death, but I fear that those contingency plans rest on the strength of a man who has let his emotions get the better of him.
You know of these contingencies?
Sadly, I do. I have been gathering intelligence for the last year in order to make sure that this galaxy is safe from the threat of the Sith. I know of all the threats, the instability that they are trying to sow. I know of the Emperor's hand. I know of Shaulet Brakagu. I know of the Sith Triumvirate. There are many threats this galaxy must solve. We must destroy them, harness our hatred, use it as power. It is the only way.
And Shao is connected to this?
If Shao is allowed to continue influencing Revan and the Council, our ability to stand up to the Sith is weakened tremendously. She is one of the primary threats to this galaxy.
And there is no way to turn her back?
The Sith
No.
must be destroyed, Cedric. The sooner you realize that, the better. As fortune would have it, luck has struck. Brakagu is held by a rogue Mandalorian group on Utapau, the Red Right Hand, also a dark-sided organization. Scorch Earth, destroy them both, and the galaxy will be safer for it.
Okay. If that is what's needed to be done.
Excellent. I'm glad I could count on you. We have met before. Now that we have discussed things further, I feel I can trust you enough to reveal my identity. My name is Malik. We spoke before a few times.
Yes. I remember.
After the war, my face was disfigured enough that I could get a few treatments. It's now no longer recognizable to those who knew me before, aside from a few identifying features. That has allowed me to continue my work against the Sith. I have joined and am now the leader of an organization called the Jedi Covenant. We take the action the Order do not want to do to keep this galaxy safe.
Okay. Where did you go after you left us and Revan?
Some of those times are a blur to me. Spent some time in Mandalorian space and some time in the wild space regions. I visited a few key parts of the galaxy. I tried to stay off of populated planets, but eventually I came into contact with the Jedi Covenant. I got my face changed, and I've been working with them ever since. I worked with a Night Sister called Cedric Brakagu, looking for information on her sister. Turned out I had more information than she did, but she provided me with useful items, and in return I could get information on Revan. I believe Cezine is working with Revan.
Okay. What would Revan be up to with that droid of his?
What droid?
Cezine's been working on a droid, right?
Yes, the one she gave to me.
It's up to Revan's specifications, right? Revan had an idea about it, at least.
Ah, yes. When me and Revan were still working together, he had ideas. He was much more visionary then. He had a design for an assassin droid. It was important to him at the time to be able to take care of certain targets more discreetly, to avoid situations like the Mandalorian Wars. Thus, he put it together, but it was never built. After we split, I kept the plans, and I had this Night Sister build the droid for me. It hopefully will prove useful.
Fair enough.
Revan, I think, plans to fight the Sith also, but he has blinded himself with his friendship of this Bracagoo. This is Charlotte this time. He believes that, well, he can work with her, and she will not be consumed. Not even she believes that. Right now, to my understanding, given what the relationship I have had with Cezine Bracagoo, I believe Revan is trying to reunify the Mandalorians under the banner of the Republic. That is preposterous.
How? What?
I don't know his methods. Only that he has reacquired the Mask of Mandalore that he asked me to hide after the war.
Something doesn't seem right.
Indeed, he is working with this Darksider. His thoughts are corrupted. He is blinded by his emotions. It is his weakness.
God. I worked with Shao for years. I knew she had an element of dark within her, but I didn't think it went this far.
That is the nature of the dark side, Cedric. It goes further and further. It consumes, it corrupts, until it destroys. That is the balance of the Force.
Well, there's only one thing for it then.
And me and my companion here will acquire an important item and then depart. I will leave you here to reunite with your friends. I sense they are not far away. Your former weapon that you grafted to that arm of yours is left in this case, but I fear it's taken a lot of damage. I think you'd be better off with your prosthetic, but it's your choice. Your sickness is spreading. It shouldn't be too bad so long as you avoid further contact with the contagion. When you crashed into that wall, you broke a lot of the ventilation system in the inner city, which I believe has stopped most of the infection here. But the streets are crawling with those creatures. Beware.
Thank you.
Good luck on your mission. I have other business to attend to, but I will be in contact when I can. And he puts the mask back on and begins to leave as three figures appear at the door, one looking like a Trandoshan, and that'll, I guess, where we end it a little. Like, this was a very short session today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cool. Alright.
Yeah.
You get 5 XP, because you rolled some dice.
Yay!
Roll some conflict. And actually, wait, before you roll conflict, actually, you can roll it, but I'm going to say that for agreeing to this plan, I'm going to give you 5 conflicts, so you lose 4 morality. I think. Did I do my maths right there?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh.
I'm talking today, so why don't you do the outro?
Yeah. Well, this is going to be very interesting when we get back to next week. So we'll see you guys then. Goodbye.